Cinema Shogun here, and today is one of those crazy kind of news days. You know, when you cover the news, sometimes you wake up in the morning and you struggle trying to find the right story to talk about. And other days, you're just overwhelmed with so much news. And that's the kind of day today is, and I'm not complaining. I like these kind of days, but you only got so much time in a day to get to everything that you want to talk about. I got several smaller stories that I want to touch on, hopefully at some time today. Over on my other channel, maybe I'll give you an update on all the new news coming out of the Brian Kohberger case. And then we have an update with Gabby Petito, which is what I'm here to briefly talk to you about right now, because we do have an update in the Gabby Petito case. Judge Brewer has denied the motion of protection for Roberta Laundries' burn after reading letter, which basically means, long story short, I'm not going to keep you here all day, the burn after reading letter can be used against Roberta Laundrie in this case that the Petitos have against the Laundries. Meaning that the Petitos at some point more than likely will be given this letter. I don't know if they've ever been able to read this letter in its entirety. I don't know if we'll necessarily be able to find out what's in the letter. Of course, once court comes, then we'll probably find out. But it looks like at any time, maybe sometime today, sometime in the near future, they're probably going to be handing this letter over to the Petitos. Now, what does this mean? This is very good news because they were trying to block this letter from being used. I'm not sure how many of you all are really familiar with the contents of this letter, but I do know at one point she talks about providing Brian Laundrie a shovel, and there's a lot of stuff in there that would suggest that she claims it was jokingly, or her lawyers claim that, but it's like, yeah, if you murder her, I got your back, and she's kind of letting it be known. So this is definitely not going to look good for them. This is a blessing for everyone who wants justice for Gabby, and I believe this is something that needs to be shown. Because the Laundries, they're still not showing up in court, of course. They haven't really said much. And I feel like they thought that they were going to walk away from this situation and just skate away, without any ridicule, without anything happening. So I'm really glad that we have this case going forward. And I'm glad they're going to be able to use this letter, because from what we've heard about the letter so far, it definitely doesn't sound good, especially considering the fact of, what ultimately happened to Gabby. We don't have to go into detail about that. We already know about all of those details. We've talked about it extensively here on this channel. But this is it's a step in, I don't want to say the right direction. It's a step in the right direction for us, but it's finally starting to make me feel like we're getting some type of justice and closure in this story. This has been one of the stories that I've held closest to me. It's definitely where I got my start on this bigger YouTube journey that I'm on. So I will always hold this case close to my heart. And I always felt like we didn't get the proper closure that we needed. Now, mind you, we're not Gabby's family, but I think over the coverage of this case, a lot of us started feeling in ways close to the case and close to Gabby. And it never felt like we truly got justice, because Brian's remains were ultimately found somewhere in a swamp. But, this is a step forward towards the justice that we've all been wanting. And it's like it's a slap in the face of the Laundries. You know what I mean? Like, the Laundries, they almost seemed impenetrable, like invincible throughout all of this, because people would be acting crazy out front of their house, and they just remained, for the most part, stone cold silent through all of this. And finally, it's like score one for the home team. We finally got something against y'all, for what y'all have done and your participation in this whole situation. But there's some other things going on in court as well with two Tex Bertolini, and we'll get into that in another video. But for now, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. Is this exciting news for you? What do you expect to hear about this letter? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments while you're down there. Hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.